Good morning. I was introduced as a wonderful person. But you see, the problem with that is, and I thank the pastor, but a number of you know me. You know me way back. You know me not just as having been a pastor, but a laborer, a worker. So you've seen aspects of me that might cause you maybe to compromise some of those wonderful words that I deeply appreciate from the pastor. Thank you so much, Pastor Jacob. Of course, my lovely wife, Reverend Juanita. She works hard, you know. She just came back late last night from Washington, D.C. Women Federation. She's one of the vice presidents of the Women Federation International, and she decided still to come with me this morning. Thank you. We have with us also Brother Dase, Minister Dase Diarra. Please stand up. Brother Dase just became a father about, a week and a half ago? A truly faithful man, you know. That path to that first child was not easy. So we thank God that the fruit came, a precious fruit. So before I say anything, you know, I just want to thank Reverend Damien's family. I thank him for this desire to cross-fertilize, you know. He's, of course, the president of Region 1. I don't say sub. I like the idea of Region 1. You know, we're a nation. And then, you know, whatever is above that we'll call supra, but Region 1. And, you know, it was his desire that we cross-fertilize, come across the rivers or the highways to get a chance to know each other better. You know, he's really causing us to support each other so that we can see both the strengths and, I don't like to say weakness, but the places that need a little filling up, you know. So I thank you, Reverend, for this opportunity to be here, and I certainly thank Reverend Jacob, your family. Obviously, what that means is you have an open invitation, you know, to District 2, you know? You have an open invitation to come. We'll just have to decide which one of them, you know, because we have 10 communities there, you know. Not all big, but we want you to come to one of them, and we'll let you know soon what works out. So thank you again for welcoming me, and I'm also grateful for the opportunity to be here. Of course, I see a number of people I've known over the past years. I'm grateful to have met. I mean, I've known of Dr. Ong, but I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to shake your hands. You know, you are a true elder, you know, someone who represents the root of our movement here in America, and it's an honor to meet you, to meet your family, and to have you, you know, to have you. Yeah, I mean, a number of us are moving on, you know, going to the next world. I know Brother Michelle Gilhan, right? You know, our dear brother Jeff Hurft. You know, we worked together years ago delivering. That wasn't mentioned, but for many years we worked with the Ginseng Up Company, delivering, doing hard work in our young years. And dear brother Jeff, for many years he worked delivering sodas on a truck in Brooklyn, all by himself. You know, 300, 350 cases, you know, he would go out, you know, and we found out. I didn't know what happened to him for decades. And Just the other day, in the in memoriam section, I saw that he had passed away in Columbus, Ohio. And it was wonderful to see that his daughter was taking care of that. Very moving, but also kind of a sad, because he's someone I grew up with in the church. I got to know, I got to understand in a certain way. We had our differences sometimes, but it's all for the good. So I wish our brother a wonderful welcome into the eternal world as he moves on. So at this point, I've been invited to come and speak, and it's sort of like whenever I mention names, I feel like some people might feel, left out. I certainly am grateful for the Inosees. I'm an honorary Kodan member. Yeah, I'm involved with them. I don't just talk about them. Every month, whenever I can, I'm part of their ancestral appreciation gatherings. My wife and I, we go. So this thing coming up, this Champyong event, is not for me something that, after many years, something's happening. It's something that I have in mind every month as I give honor to my ancestors. So we'll talk a little bit about that now, but I thank Kodan for that kind of consciousness of keeping those people who have made my presence here possible forward in my thinking. So again, the other day I was on a conference call. True Mother gave Kodan high praise for their work. So whenever your Kodan rep approaches you, please support them. I have a philosophy. My philosophy is if I can't keep a standard, and Kodan is the vertical standard. They've maintained that kind of honorific standard in our movement. And if you can't do it, and you can't do it, the way what you do is you support the one who's doing it. That's how I keep myself sometimes straight up that way. There are things I look at it and no, I'm not ready for that. But if I help the one who's doing it, then some blessing is going to flow. So that's a little secret of my way of maintaining my own spiritual standard. All right? So certainly, I thank you, Brother Richard Lewis. I'm happy to see you all over the place. Thank you. And again, I could mention a lot of names, but I won't do that because I have but 30 minutes, if even that, to share some of what I have to share. So I'm here. I'm here primarily to speak to you about what's happening now. How did I entitle my message? Our last mission. Our last mission. And we know what mission is in this movement. We know what it is. I mean, ever since you joined this church, Japanese brother would come and say, what's your mission? That's your entire value right there in that question. If you give an answer, you're good. If you're confused, there's work to be done. So we know our path of faith. We've been pursuing a variety of things we called mission. Sometimes, people would consider their mission just being in the church. I'm in the church. That's my mission. But the reality is, brothers and sisters have sacrificed over many, many years to create foundations in many different avenues. And because of that, we've achieved a certain standard in our personal life and in the life of our movement here in America. So at this point, even though this is something that's been spoken to us for many, many years, the reality is we have finally come to a point now where that one mission, which is our fundamental mission, is emphasized again and again and again. And I really appreciate, again, the work of Reverend Dunkley for taking this understanding and bringing it down to earth, breaking it down so that we can act on it according to whatever capacity we have, and making it so that it's not something that is self-centered or just family-centered, but rather community-centered, so that we work together to accomplish it. So what is, in essence, Tribal Messiah activity? Why are we doing this work? What is the value of it? Is it just to grow an organization? If that were the only reason, then surely we'd be walking on one leg. But if we understand the purpose of tribal messiahship, both internally and externally in terms of creating a foundation, a spiritual foundation to claim a nation, as we work together as families, as communities, to build around us a spiritual edge of support for our families, for our communities, to be involved, to be engaged in growing and expanding and testing our capacity of love, our discipline, our ability to really take into consideration what everyone has to offer and putting it all together to bring success. That's what we're doing, brothers and sisters. It's like a young body. How does a young body grow? It multiplies. The cells multiply. But even as they're multiplying, they're not neglecting that which is already present. So we're both growing and expanding, and at the same time giving life, giving support, giving encouragement to one another. So I'm asking you, in this community, I look in this room, and I would say to myself, and don't be ashamed, we're brothers and sisters, I'm not here to test you, but how many of you are involved in the actual outreach effort of tribal messiahship? Okay, thank you. So what that means, of course, is some of you have captured the vision and want to be involved. And some of you are kind of thinking about it and not quite sure where to start, how to begin. So what shall we do? What shall we do? Well, the first thing we need to take into consideration, and I'm going to share a few points based on the experience of it. You know, I'm not here to lecture you or, take something from a book and just throw it at you. I just want to give you something that I know based on the experience of it. And maybe that can encourage a number of you to kind of involve yourselves. The first thing about this work that has empowered me, my wife, and the communities I work with is that it's not an individual thing. Even though we test it that way, how many couples have you blessed? And so you feel the pressure of that. And that feeling itself is a depressor. It keeps you from even doing step one. So the way that we've dealt with it is we don't attribute the results in the beginning to an individual or to a couple. We work as a community. We go out together, 5, 6, 7, 8 people together. I will show you a couple of pictures soon. I hope they can be shown soon. Oh, they are there? Okay, so you can see, based on the pictures alone, how we operate. You know, we've chosen an area. I live in Harlem, so I picked an area in Harlem. We picked an area in Harlem. And when we go out 5, 6, 7, 8 people knocking on a door. That does something. First of all, nobody's scared. You know, when even the people whose door we're knocking are not scared because 8 people will not come to rob you. 1, yeah, 2, and it happens. It happens. Sad to say. But when 8 people are at your door, you know, they open up. Wow. You know, they're not quick to close the door on you. They welcome us, even inside their home. And inside their homes, we do the necessary approach of bringing them the holy wine, the holy juice, the prayer, and so forth. We take the information. And we move on. But we take the information and we move on. But we're working as a community of people. And we want to use that as a foundation to do more because these same people that we're blessing, we don't want this to be like a linear kind of approach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 homes. These people we go back to, and we want them now to invite us to their family events. Birthday parties, weddings, picnics, whatever it is. Once you know people, people connect you to other people. But again, we do it as a group. So as a group, everyone is receiving energy. Everyone is helping one another. Sometimes, and I chose that particular scripture that was read to emphasize a point. And the point being that we individually are not doing the work. And I found that to be true many times. When we go door to door or when we're approaching people, it's not how slick I can speak or how good looking I think I am or how good a salesperson I am or how awkward I am. It's heaven actually doing the work via my presence, via our presence. Look, I'm going door to door, right? Let me be very practical. I'm going door to door, and I have a little Japanese sister with me. Now, who do I want to knock on the door and say something? Myself or her? You got that right, her. Because her voice is so sweet, so good, that they open the door. Once the door is open, then heaven continues to do its work. But you see, is it because I can talk a good talk? Or because a wonderful presence that heaven can use to open the door that makes the difference? So we're practical, but we're also understanding the principle of what's going on. Use the presences that you have to open doors, to open hearts. That is an important element. So those of you who have not yet entered this work, why don't you put God to the test? Put heaven to the test. You don't have to go out there by yourself and start that way. Work with someone who's already working. And in your community, some of you might just desire, okay, let's come together as a community of people and do something together. And then you will see the work of heaven in operation as things happen because you simply say, we're here to do a prayer blessing with your family. Test it out. I want to encourage you to test this thing out and see what happens. And the success that will come from that is going to empower you to want to do more. That's important. That scripture, I and you and me, we can test this. Is the presence of God in our midst? I mean, there's been days when I didn't want to go out. But because I committed and there's 6 or 7 other people, I have to show my face. There are days when I'm shocked what can be done in a short period of time. Within 30 minutes, you have 5, 6, 7 doors opening up. Suppose I had said, on that day, I'm not feeling good, I don't want to do nothing, even for that short period of time, I do nothing. Nothing would happen. But just presenting yourself however you are, it's not about I feel good, I feel bad. It's being present. And that presence allows heaven to do its work through you. So that allows you the avenue of understanding many things, the spiritual operations that are working beyond you, beyond what you think you can do. Let's see what heaven can do. So I can't see the pictures, but are you all getting a picture of this? You know, is it moving? It's moving, right? Okay, so keep like moving it. So that gives you an idea of our presence in that community. And we're safe because we're many. Nobody's going to bother us. Yeah. I'm not saying the place is all that bad, but it can be bad sometimes. Okay? But when we're together, we feel safe, our spirits are calm, and our togetherness is a powerful force of heaven to do its work. So, brothers and sisters, work as a group. Understand that you're not doing anything by yourself or by your own power, but that heaven is working through that particular community of people moving to generate blessing. True Mother said, I want to be the mother of 7.4 billion people. So when we go door to door, we don't discriminate. You know, if she said she wants to be the mother of 7.4 billion people, it means that all kinds of conditions are out there in people's lives. There are some people who are married, some who are not. Some who are happily divorced. And they tell you, I'm happily divorced. So that tells you right there, the person has had a painful experience with marriage. So your attitude then becomes one of comfort, of prayer. And still, these people, we give them the holy wine. They are part of the 7.4 billion people. Of course, we understand the principle. We understand the clarity of man and woman. We understand the 5 steps. But we begin with True Mother's heart of embracing everyone and lifting this situation up. Because this same person is the one who is the key to open up the doors to many other people. So don't discriminate. Give the holy wine to whoever will receive it, whoever will receive the prayer. That's important. We have to work this thing out with heaven. But to be the mother of 7.4 billion people, we are empowered to go out and touch the lives of people with the wine that brings new life and new lineage to every single person. We begin with that. And it is these people who then become the basis of the ones that we begin to educate, and some we bring to our public events. Some will come, some will not. Those who will not, you go back to them. You work in their environment. But breakthroughs will come where it comes based on our output in relationship with them. That's important to keep in mind. But again, I'm sharing a lot of stuff here, but you all have to get this together. You all have to really maybe have a meeting and kind of find out, who wants to work together? who wants to do something. And then target a particular area, a particular community, and be consistent in it. Put it to the test. Otherwise, it will remain like a flatline thing. So, it's like the next time, maybe if the question is asked again, the majority of you will raise your hands. Thank you for not raising your hands if you're not doing it. I mean, that's understandable in a way, but please take this effort and challenge that I'm putting out to you to move to the next level and organize yourselves as groups of 5, groups of 6, and make things happen. Not everyone has to come out every single time. We have people in our group who, once a week, once every 2 weeks, but we don't make them feel like they're less than. They're part of the group. So we've got to have that heart. That presence is important, okay? So I've touched base on working as groups. I've touched base on the fact that we ourselves shouldn't have a self-centered mind about it, but understand that it is the work of heaven and that we therefore must liberate God to do the work through us, but we got to be there. We got to be there. I mean, I've seen this thing. I tell you, sometimes I don't want to go. And I'm the district pastor. That's me. Those people who know me, they know me. I mean, that's the lazy part of me. But I've also been shown by heaven what can happen even when that mindset is dominant and you're just like present. Because you're present. Heaven has a mouth, feet, arms to make something happen. Because that tape recorder will always set you up, nothing's going to happen. They're not going to open up their doors. Blah, blah, blah. And then the first door yes. It's not you and what's in your head. It's an interplay of activity that is going on. Okay, so I just want to touch base on one more point before I close. And it has to do with the upcoming Chunpyeong activities that are going on. And again, I've already told you, I'm an honorary member of Kodan. My head is into an understanding of that spiritual work. I give honor to it every month, and I'm around people who do. So now that an opportunity has come for us to cleanse, to open up even more channels in our ancestral line, to bring blessing to our ancestral line in the same way we're outreaching and bringing blessing to our tribe, we are also bringing blessing to our vertical line, our ancestors. So I ask you, how many people have done ancestor liberation and blessings? Okay. Wow, that's the majority. You see, if we have that same kind of hands up with tribal Messiah activity, you're going to have a powerful community here, Reverend. Did you see that? Yeah, all of you saw that. So you're doing that one, but the other one, but let me ask you a question. That's a serious question. Okay, I mean, you don't see them, but you're doing it. But the ones out here you see. But you're not doing enough. Think about that. We don't see our ancestors, but some reason, maybe we feel them, I don't know, or whatever, but we're doing it. But that one, we just got to challenge ourselves, okay? We see them. We're giving them the wine on behalf of true parents. So let's make all hands up on all levels. How's that? Let's do that. Put that to the test. Put it to the test. Look, listen, this thing is coming up soon. You have an opportunity for a greater vertical channel of clarity, right? Through liberations, through blessings. Why don't you test that versus the horizontal effort? Put it to the test. I'm not talking about believing anything here. You doubt it? Test it. And see what happens when you engage and involve yourself in cleaning your ancestral line and also reaching out to expand. How much time do I have, Reverend?
The rest of the day.
Well, thank you. I appreciate receiving that. Put it to the test. You know, I encourage you to be involved. In fact, the whole idea behind Region 1 that Reverend Damien is asking us is that Saturday and that Sunday is really, let's think of it as a Region 1 service, a Region 1 offering, where we're all there. We're not having a side event or, you know, those who are interested. Everyone should come, register to come. Even if you don't do liberation, register to come and be present and receive the benefit of that first day. The Chanyang and the messaging, the education that you will receive. So that we all should be up there. I encourage that. But since most of you are already involved in liberations, then take the opportunity and just continue to do that. But put it to the test. You believe it, most hands went up. Now you're going to see what happens when you outreach and put yourselves together to do Tribal Messiah outreach. Basically bringing God's blessing, bringing the holy wine, bringing that special element of life that our true parents paid dearly for into the lives of people, because when these people receive it from you, it is a small condition of unity with you. It is them trusting you. I'm moved by that. These people don't know me. Here I am opening up something. How do they know I didn't put a needle in there or something? A few don't, but a great number do, because our spirit is there to bring life, and the spirit world is working. So put it to the test, okay? That's what I want to leave you with. I didn't come to preach to you. I just want to encourage you to organize yourselves into groups, target a particular community, and consistently make effort to bless. And also, the blessing is coming, the Champyong blessing is coming. That's a confluence. Bring it all together. That was the first thing I think Reverend Dunkley, when he took over, he told us, you know, one of the problems we have in our movement is many organizations, one is going this way, the other's going that way, another one's going this way. But here we are with the capacity to make all things kind of work together. So I'm definitely myself going to put it to the test. You know, we use our heads, but let's see what a cleansing on the internal vertical channel will do to open up even greater success on the tribal messiahship outreach efforts that will bring blessings to you, blessings to our community, blessings to this nation, and ultimately realize what our parents are looking for, a nation, specifically this one right here, this one that heaven invested so much in. So God bless you, brothers and sisters. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for welcoming our brothers, our community.